Now in this question we are given that a certain mathematics program, it was tried out in 2 classes. So let's write down the information as we read the question. So there are 32 elementary schools and each had 2 classes. It involved 37 teachers. So the number of teachers is equal to 37. Now each of the classes had one teacher and each of the teachers taught at least one. So the minimum number of classes that the teachers can take 1, and that is a must. But a teacher cannot take more than 3 classes. So we have, if the number of teachers who taught 3 classes is n, if the number of teachers who taught 3 classes, suppose we denote that by T3, that is equal to n, then we have to find the greatest and the least possible value of n. So this is all the information that we have from the question. We now move on to step 2. Now in step 2 we can write if x number of teachers take 1 class each and y number of teachers take 2 classes each. It is also given that n number of teachers take 3 classes each. Then total number of classes will be equal to 1 times x plus 2 times y plus 3 times n. Now this should be equal to 32 times 2, since there are 32 elementary schools and each has 2 classes. So we can write this as x plus 2y plus 3x equal to 64. Now we are also given that the total number of teachers is 37. Then if this is our equation 1, our equation 2 will be x plus y plus n is equal to 37. Now we have to maximize and minimize the value of n here. So let's move on to step 3. Since every teacher has to take at least 1 class and we have to maximize the value of n, so the only option is to minimize y. Now y can be minimized if y is taken as 0. Now substituting y is equal to 0 in both the equations, we get x plus 3n is equal to 64 and x plus n is equal to 37. On subtracting these two equations, we get 2n is equal to 27 or n is equal to 13.5. Now n has to be an integer, so we can take that n, the value of n, to be 13. From this we can conclude that the classes can be assigned to 13 different teachers, which is less than the total number of teachers. So we can say that the maximum value of n is 13. We now find the minimum value of n. So to minimize n, since x has to be present because every teacher takes at least 1 class, and to minimize n we take the value of n to be 0. And on substituting the value of n is equal to 0 in equations 1 and 2, we get x plus 2y is equal to 64 and x plus y is equal to 37. Now this gives us, on subtracting, that y is equal to 27. From this we can infer that 27 teachers can be assigned 3 classes, which is possible since the total number of teachers is 37 and 27 is less than 37. So this is the minimum value of n, that n is equal to 0. So we can say that the minimum value of n is 0 and maximum value of n is 13. Hence the correct answer is option